Hello, Ellie. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I feel very honored. You got here right off the plane, right?
I'm honored to be by you, and I got straight from the plane to you.
Yeah,
That's
Rachel
exciting.
picked you up. You're here. First stop on a very busy few days, right? Of what are you here to do? What are you here in Toronto for?
I'm here to get hugs from the
You're
people
here
of
to get
Toronto,
hugs.
and I love Toronto. I love Canada,
Yeah,
and to tell more the story about United Hatzalah and what we accomplish in Israel every day.
right. It's a pretty big community here, right? Of United Hatzalah supporters and, fans and people that want to kind of spread the love.
I'm
I
going to a golf course today, Maple Downs,
Yes, of course.
and they had a fundraiser, a golf course,
Yeah.
like a golf. I don't know how to play golf, but they raise money to save lives, which is amazing.
That's amazing. They're huge supporters too. A lot of friends are members there. It's a great golf course. So you don't play golf. So you were just schmoozing.
It looks so easy, but I don't know how to play golf.
I don't think it actually looks easy. You think it looks easy? It looks like a lot of coordination.
I was in LA once, and a doctor who plays golf every day,
Yeah.
he says to me, Ellie, I bet you can't hit any ball. And I said, what are we betting on? He said, an Ambucycle.
Oh.
And I said, really? Okay, let's put 3 balls, at least one, right? He said, yes. I hit all 3.
No way.
Yeah.
Did he give you 3 Ambucycles?
He gave only 1.
That's still something, though. That's still something. That's great. I love that. Always thinking sales.
I'll bet for anything.
That's the
any
best.
challenge.
You come here, and when you're here, what are you doing? You're staying with some of your donors, or what do you guys do?
Yeah, so I want to save money for the organization, so I don't go to a hotel.
Look at that, frugal Rachel.
And,
Rachel said that.
Yeah.
It's a little bullshitty though. I feel like you're really doing it to get your it's networking at the to be in someone's home when they're here. It's like that's like your sales mentality. Like you're in there. You're having tea and coffee with them before bed. You're getting to know you're actually getting the tea. You're not just
so
a phone
you just
call.
Exposed my secret.
I
promise you, you exposed my secret. I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah. Well, it's not
and
a
I never
secret
told
no
this, but this is the first time I'm saying this. Being an Orthodox Jew is the easiest way to get into anyone. I'll tell you why. Because I need a place to stay Shabbat.
Yes.
So I call the biggest supporters who could be supporting United Hatzalah, and I say, listen, I need a place for Shabbat. Who would say no?
Exactly.
This guy, I can't get a meeting with him a minute during the week, but Shabbat,
you're using
he's stuck with me.
You know what? God gave it to us. Let's go, right? Let's go. Who's going to reject you on Shabbat?
Exactly.
Nobody.
I'm coming for Shabbat. I need some food. Come on.
Genius.
Gefilte fish.
That's just strategy right there. So you're like, if you were to say, Lanny, when you're in Israel, not that you're saying this.
Stay by us.
Yeah, guess what I would say?
Stay by me. By the way,
guess what I would say,
you
though?
should come for barbecue to us.
Okay, I'll come.
You would say yes. I know you're not going to come stay by me.
Okay, that's the difference. But that's
for the barbecue, you can't say no.
I will be there for the barbecue, but I'm not, you know what? At the end of the long day, I'm in my pajamas. I just want to be talking to myself, doing my stuff. You're there. You're constantly working. Are you even relaxing?
I never relaxed. I was I can't say by who, but I was one of the biggest supporters of any Jewish organization in the world. Invited me with my wife, Gitti, to come on a boat for 10 days.
Wow.
Guess what? We were packing 2 months before already. We were waiting. She was stuck with us for 10 days.
Wow.
And all her friends and all her, it was amazing.
It's
Nothing better
amazing.
than that, right? And you think I'm on vacation? No. They're trying to be on vacation. I'm working.
You're like, every conversation is another opportunity for you to just slip in
I had to dress well, speak well. I couldn't behave.
Your best behavior.
Exactly.
It's work. Well, it's not easy raising money. So let's get into it. From your mouth, one of the founders, creators of this organization, tell us the world what United Hatzalah is.
Well, our mission is simple.
Okay.
We want to get there in 90 seconds to every person who needs us.
And who's we? Just so people that have never heard of this organization before, you're an organization that's in Israel. And what do you guys do?
We have volunteers throughout Israel.
Okay.
These are Jews and Christians and Muslims and Druze who are trained to be EMTs or paramedics, carry a little device on their belt, which tracks them where they are. And within seconds of any emergency throughout the country, a baby choking, someone having a heart attack, God forbid a car accident or a terrorist attack, anyone close to that emergency will get alerts saying you are close, jump out of home, jump out of work, jump out of mosque or synagogue and go save lives for that person. That's why we're successful, because we use volunteers who are devoted to save other people's lives. And we don't get paid for it. We do it for free.
Wow.
And we are volunteers. And that's who we are, United Hatzalah.
Incredible. I don't think there's another organization exactly like that in the world that does it to the degree that you guys do. Do you know what I mean? And I can personally say that I know there's a lot of people trying to help and stuff, but what you guys are doing is absolutely incredible. And I think that for this type of model, what you just said, for people to jump out of synagogue, jump out of church, jump out of their job, they're breastfeeding a child to go save another person's life. That is a very unique situation and position to be in. That would not work in many countries. That would not work in many societies.
I tell you, so right.
And I have my inclinations as to I know why somewhere in Canada, but I want to hear from you why that is. Why an Israeli, and I saw it and I felt it, and everyone at your organization lives and breathes that. There's some beautiful anecdotes from kids and people that I met throughout the organization. That Jonathan kid, it was incredible. Kid, he's like my age, but he's got 25 kids, and what he does every day is insane. What these people do, they sacrifice themselves every day for other people. They put themselves secondary, and that is not something in this Western world that we are accustomed to. We're accustomed to acquire, to build and accrue these things selfishly for ourselves, benefit without expanding and helping others. And the main purpose of this podcast was to bring on people to highlight what they are doing in terms of living into their purpose while giving back to community. And there's not a finer example that I can think of. So let's get back to the question. Why does this not work anywhere else? Why is this something that's unique to Israel?
I think it's in our DNA for thousands of years to care about each other. It's really v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, do to the other what you want others to do to you. It's the essence of the Torah, essence of Judaism for thousands of years. No matter if you're more religious, less religious, you're more observant or not, it's part of our DNA. I think other nations tried to copy the model. I don't know if everyone did it properly. Caring about others. You know that if you would hear a child screaming outside, no matter how bad the situation is, maybe the weather is terrible and you can't go out, you would run out and put your life in danger to save that child. That's who we are. That's what Israel is about. That's what Judaism is about. And many other nations learn from the Judaism, even Christians, and many other nations are copying the model. But us, we invented it. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. This is Hillel's answer to say the Torah in one, holding yourself on one leg. What does the entire Torah mean? That's what it means. So you have 613, commandments, but they are nothing compared to one most important one is that commandment. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. And I think we do that every day. And it's funny because we're not only keeping it to the Jewish nation, we have a lot of non-Jews who joined us. In Israel, you met Arabs, Muslims who are actually part of United Hatzalah, and that's why we call it United. It's in Hebrew, Hatzalah, Ichud Hatzalah, United Hatzalah, uniting people. Sammy, he's an Arab Muslim from East Jerusalem. He drives a taxi. That's his parnasa. That's what he does for a living. Yeah. And he goes for 12 hours a day driving people to work, to the airport. He has a kit in the back of his taxi in his trunk of all the trauma stuff he needs, all the resuscitation equipment he needs, even a kit to deliver a baby. Wow. He has an oxygen tank and he has a defibrillator. On his belt, he has that device that we give everyone. And he's driving people to the airports. And in the middle, he gets a call. He says to the people, I'm so sorry. Either you join me to the call.
So what has happened? He's driving someone from Ben Gurion to their hotel.
Yeah.
10 minutes into the drive, he pulls off the highway. Someone's choking 2 minutes away. The whole thing is you have to be there in 90 seconds. You've got someone in your backseat. So how does that conversation go?
So, by the way, when you come into his taxi, the first thing you see is the Hatzalah jacket.
Okay. So he prefaces it by saying that.
And he says, listen, I might have an emergency on the way. If it's a real emergency and I'm nearby, I might stop.
Okay.
If you don't want me, he might lose a few people. He might lose a day. Now, I had a doctor who contacted me, a guy from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He's a doctor from New York coming to Israel. He went to the Waldorf Hotel in Jerusalem. Yeah. And who comes to show up to take him to his ride? Sammy.
That's so funny.
And he takes him on a ride. And in the middle of this guy, Sammy doesn't know who the guy is. He's driving the car. And all of a sudden, they get a call of a cardiac arrest in Rechavia, which is near the center of town.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm so sorry. I have to let you off. Yeah. I have a call. He says, what do you mean you have a call? He says, I'm Hatzalah.
Yeah.
So the guy says, "You're Hatzalah?" He's like, "I'm an
Hatzalah.
Arab." "What are you Hatzalah?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Arabs and Hatzalah.
Right.
And he says, "I'm a doctor. I want to join you." And he says,
Mm.
"You really?" He shows him the ID. He has a doctor's ID. So he says, "Okay, come." And they ride to the call. He actually has lights and sirens in his taxi, which is the weirdest thing. And
Puts it on top.
yeah, he puts it like a Kojak on top. And they get to the call. They're the first ones on the scene because it was 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
They start CPR, connect the defibrillator. Within 10 minutes, they bring his heart back, his heartbeat back,
Wow.
saved his life. The doctor starts crying, and Sammy says, "Is everything okay?" He says, "I'm a doctor for 25 years. I'm an ear, nose, and throat doctor.
Yeah, Auntie.
I never, ever saved a life. It's my first time I saved
Wow,
someone."
I just got shivers.
And this is a story that I
Yeah.
heard from the doctor who called me, and he says, now every time I go to Israel, I contact Sammy. I said, "You're my driver when I'm in Israel, but when you have an emergency call, you take me on the calls." And that's what we do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's just, that really is, I think, from the model itself, sacrifice, but then the community working together. So it's the 2-part. And when you say that it's in your DNA, it was born that way, it's in the scripts that we kind of live by. I get that.
That's why you can't win us, because we love each other. In the end of the day, we actually don't matter who we are and what sector you come from and how religious or non-religious you are, any Ashkenazi or Sephardic, we love each other. Not only we love each other, we love other nations.
Yeah.
We believe in Tikkun Olam.
Yes. Yes.
And I think Tikkun Olam is the essence of United Hatzalah.
Mhm. So beautiful. I've recently got into a little bit more of Kabbalah and all that kind of stuff. And it's really beautiful because it gives this meaning, this meaning to life, to all these, scripts and things that we're learning. And it makes it applicable in this day in life. That's what I think with religion and all these things kind of being further out in our lives in a lot of the diaspora, I should say, right? People aren't going to church, synagogue, all these things, mosque, as much as they once were, 50 to 100 years ago. It's not the same. There's a lot more people that have different time and energy to put towards different avenues in their life. And with all that energy going out towards other people and other things, it's not unifying us here in the diaspora. Do you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they're that good coming together, not discriminating, no othership. It doesn't matter who, when, or why, will be there. It's something that's completely void in a lot of these Western worlds. So it's really amazing to see the actual implications of what this can be done if it's taught to other countries, right? So there's an example of United Hatzalah going and training, citizens, right? Right after the horrible tragedies in a lot of these kind of world
Disasters
that we're sitting in. Ukraine, right? Weren't we, I was speaking with Lenore. She was one of the first people there training people on the ground in Ukraine for these crazy emergencies, how to provide relief to their citizens, how to get through such horrible catastrophes because they've done it. They know how. And once again, it's not only they're doing it for themselves, they're doing it to help others.
Right.
This is another example. It's not only are we okay, we see somewhere else in the world that's not doing okay. Why can't I impart my knowledge on them so that they can be more self-sufficient? Teach a man how to fish, right? So I think that there's a few levels of this organization that really does make you guys stand apart in terms of how you're getting to people, how you're reaching out, and the why. And I think for us in the diaspora that are here and living and breathing and wanting to help, we're fighting 2 totally different wars. We're fighting 2 totally different wars. And being in Israel and seeing that, you walk around Israel and I'm not scared of anti-Semitism or being called something or looking at someone looking at me the wrong way. As crazy as that is, that's happening here in Toronto now. People are being beat up in the streets and in the parks for being Jewish here in Toronto right now. That's not the feeling I have when I'm walking around Israel, right? And yes, that's because 70% of people are Israeli and Jewish. But regardless of the fact, there is that you're fighting for something, geographically land there, and we're fighting for mad respect everywhere else in the world. And for you, Mr. Travel, and you see it, you travel and you get to see everything. How does that land for you, knowing the war that you guys are fighting and then seeing how we have to kind of respond? Because they're 2 totally different things. And when you guys come to us and ask, oh, you guys need to help us because we are doing this. And, we're the first to say, how? Let us do it. You guys know exactly what you need and you tell us and we're able to deliver. It's pretty clear. You need money to do this because you guys are handling it. Here, we don't know how to handle it. We don't know how to handle the fact that we're not getting the respect that we deserve, that we've always deserved. And I guess, do you have any advice, being an Israeli Jew, looking at us in this world, saying, how do we survive out here? How do we stand up for ourselves, not look like victims? We can't be there fighting on the front lines. We can't all go join the army. We can learn, we can research, we can educate ourselves, we can support important organizations, but we're here. And there's a really big disconnect what's happening there and what's happening with us. So what is your perspective a little bit on how Jews that are seeing kind of the world around them break down in North America and other cities, fight stronger, fight smarter like you guys are doing, because we're losing this race here?
Well, I think, first of all, we're having a world crisis when it comes to Judaism now, right? Because the world is so clear about hatred towards Jews. And it was always there. The hatred was always there. It's just exposing itself now. It's so easy for them. Right. Israel's under attack from the day of October 7th. Right. And the worst horrors happened to Israel. And I go back in history, and I want to just go back 90 years back. Yeah. My father told me stories. He was a little boy. My father's, if he'll be alive, he'll be 100 years old now. My father told me that he was a little boy walking around New York City raising money to save Jewish people during the Holocaust. My father was an American kid living in the Lower East Side, heard of what was going on in Europe, killing millions of Jews. He didn't hear it reading it. He didn't hear it from the New York Times because they didn't write about it. He heard it from Jewish organizations, and they had one called United Hatzalah, very similar name. United Hatzalah was created to save Jews running out of Europe, coming to Canada, coming to America, and other places they could get into. My father was raising money, and my father said, you know how much anti-Semitism they had in the streets? I would walk around with my yarmulke, and they would scream at me, you Jews are created a world war. Because of you, they have now a world war. Because of you, people are dying in Europe. Because of us, we're sent to concentration camps. So I heard this when I was a little boy from my father. Okay. So I'm not surprised now that we're attacked also on October 7th, when thousands of people were attacked by the worst terrorists that exist in this world, the worst human beings. God forbid it would happen here in Toronto. If people like that, vicious people like that, will go ahead and attack schools and homes and Torontonians and murder and rape women, what would the Canadian government say? Let's just be, let's forgive them? No.
Let's forgive them, and let's just put that.
Let's put aside.
Let's take that movie at a tip. And
let's just make a ceasefire with them. Ceasefire. This has gone on for years, and October 7th really was the peak of it, and it could have been a lot worse, by the way. If the plan was going according to what they wanted to, is destroy everyone and kill everyone in Israel, 9 million people would have died in Israel. They wanted to create a better Holocaust than what Hitler created. They wanted to do it together with Iran. They were planning to do it together with Lebanon and, of course, Syria and all these other bad regimes who are surrounding us. And they were planning to wipe out every one of us. And what the world would say? Zero, nothing. Right? The same way they say zero for what's going on in Sudan and other places. They don't care. They just hate the Jews. So I think my solution to this is not to get too excited about this, to be proud of who we are like you are. I walk around and you see this. I was in the airport with this now. I was in Montreal this morning, and I sat next to very nice people from probably Bangladesh or somewhere. I don't know where they come from. I said hello to them. I was with my yarmulke with the Israeli flag. They're looking at me. I am proud of who I am. Totally. If they could walk around with hijabs and proudly in Toronto and Montreal, I could walk around proudly with my Israeli flag, not to be scared. If someone screams, just smile back. Don't scream back. No point. They have a louder voice. We're stronger. I'd rather be destroyed in PR right now in this situation and win in the war.
It's funny you said that.
I'd rather win the war in Israel than win the war in the PR. We're talking now, I hope 10 million people see this, but it's not going to make a difference if right now we're losing in the PR world because so many billions of people don't like us. And unfortunately, we're losing in PR. You can't win in everything.
You can't win in everything. Well, you know what? I think that you did kind of answer my question a little bit, because I think that's what the diaspora could be doing. A better job at the PR. You guys are clearly fighting.
Focus on that?
Focus. Yeah, you know what? That is a very good answer, because I've said that since. You'll tell me if you think this is a good idea, okay? I actually thought of this idea when I was out for lunch with Rachel and John, my dad, a few months ago. And I was sitting there and I was like, okay, these guys are able to mobilize all the stuff in 90 seconds. They stop their jobs. They stop every single thing to make this work. Now, there's probably so many volunteers that in most buildings, am I correct, in major cities, there's enough volunteers that you probably don't even have to leave the building to get help.
Right.
So you are now just training citizens to be better citizens. They are citizens that are more equipped, not only in Israel, any country that they go to visit. If there's an emergency, if they're on the subway, if they're they can now help someone. So you're just creating them to be more resourceful.
You know, Alan Dershowitz, he's a very smart guy, and he, a good friend of mine, he just lost his son, Elon, a young man, had a very sadly tragic death. And Alan told me, you know, if you want to fight anti-Semitism, you just have to show them the goodness of Israel, what Israel's all about. Show them the volunteer organizations that are helping everyone. Show the world the incredible innovations coming out of Israel. Don't fight with these guys. There was no point of fighting back. Oh, you said that, we said that. No, show them what Israel's all about. We have in United Hatzalah 8,500 volunteers. They don't get paid. They actually pay from
8,500.
And they pay from their own pocket to volunteer because they have to pay for their own gasoline for the
And tell us what
travels.
that volunteer, just so people understand the commitment of what it takes to be a United Hatzalah volunteer, which I actually might want to do one day. When my kids are a little bit older and I have a little bit more free time, like I feel like I would love to be able to do, maybe I'll make an expedited program for
You would be amazing. So I'll tell you what, it takes about 200 hours to train, but you do it over a period of time because people have jobs. So we only take people who actually have jobs. This is not to replace a job. This is actually to take people who are stable, who have a job, they know what they're doing every day.
Right.
So we take you and we first of all see if you are capable, once you finish this training course, to be available for us any time of the day or night.
Right.
Because this is a 24/7 job.
Okay.
That means this is above your job.
Yeah.
So let's say you're in the middle of a podcast.
Right.
You could tell the person you are doing a podcast since it's recorded, so sorry, my next door neighbor's having a heart attack. I'll be back soon. Simple. That's what people are willing to do in Israel. We have lawyers, we have accountants, we have plumbers, electricians, we have business people, we have rabbis, we have Jews and non-Jews, everyone together. They commit themselves that they will be available after a training course that takes almost a year to finish because of the course.
Right. And being
and they finish the course. They get that little device. It's a GPS tracker, and you get alerted, and you stop everything you do. And that's a beautiful thing. You see rabbis and Muslims and settlers from Judea and Samaria and Arab from East Jerusalem are working together hand in hand because we know what's more important. What's more important is our safety of our children, our parents, our families. We want to make sure if God forbid something happens, we will have someone there in 90 seconds and show the goodness of Israel. So many great organizations. You know, we have another organization in Israel that every time you have a flat tire or your house was locked, you don't have a key, or God forbid someone forgot a child in the car, or it happens and many tragedies that happen, you don't need a professional EMT. You just need someone to help.
Qualify.
You don't know how to.
Exactly.
So they have thousands of people who registered to help others they don't even know.
Wow.
So it's it's called Yedidim. It's an organization that they stop everything they do like we do. They copied the model of Hatzalah, but they said we're not EMTs. We're not paramedics.
But we could still be doing something with this model. That's what I'm saying. There's
and so many people would get stuck in the roads. They don't know what to do. They don't have gasoline. They don't have this. They don't have that. So many different problems.
Yeah.
And they do things. This is Israel. V'ahavta
it's like
l'reacha kamocha.
You're
Love
creating
others
better
like
global citizens. That's what I'm reading here. You're equipping people to be able to just do more with their lives. You're giving them resources and tools to be more resilient. That's what it comes down to. So that if you're in any situation, you don't have to wait for the plumber to come clean your toilet. You don't have to wait for someone to change your tire.
It's not really to replace the people who do the jobs, but it's there to emergency situation. A person's no highway now.
Right.
And they need someone to change. They don't know how to change the fire. If someone is like older or weak, could be a man or woman. It doesn't have to be only women, but especially women who have a hard time changing a tire. It's very hard. For me, it's hard.
It's physical.
It's very hard. And they don't know. You know how many people, business people, volunteer to do that?
I don't know. If you're not taught, first of all, if you're not taught how to change a tire, how would you know? There's nothing stupid about that. Like, that's just a skill set. Like,
but it's a mitzvah. But it's a mitzvah.
It's to help
someone
in need.
I heard a story, a crazy story
that
I heard.
Yeah.
about a business man in New York. I don't want to say his name because
Oh,
people will go, oh,
right.
Donald Trump. Seriously.
Okay.
And this is like 40 years ago. I heard it was true that he got stuck in a highway in New York
Okay.
with a flat tire.
Yeah.
And this is before he had Secret
Okay.
Service. And a religious Jew stopped on the side to help him change the tire.
Wow.
And he got his name afterwards, and I think he sent him like a huge gift or something. The guy said, I'm not interested in the gift. You could check it out. It was somewhere online. I read it. This is a mitzvah. It could be anyone. It could be, he didn't know who he's stopping.
Right.
Doing a mitzvah is the greatest thing in the world. And that's all we do. We gather more and more good deeds every day.
Yeah.
My wife now is a volunteer, Gitti. She's a paramedic. My daughter, Abigail, she's a paramedic.
Insane.
My other daughter, Panina, saved a life today. I just put it online. My daughter saved a life.
Mazel.
Panina, she's divorced, actually. She's very cute, by the way.
Okay.
She has 2 little kids.
Yeah.
She's 26.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer, and she's a volunteer at Hatzalah.
Wow.
And today they had a cardiac arrest because of an accident, and my daughter saved the life. She did CPR on someone.
Good for her. Do you know,
This is amazing.
That's to feel that, when you're giving something to receive it, to be able to save a life. I can't even imagine that type of, to be able to do that for someone. Do you know what I mean? There's not a lot of things in life you can do for someone else that would make you feel whole inside.
Right.
So
right, 100%.
It's a blessing to be able to do it.
And it actually gives more of a reward to us than the people who receive it. Like, we get much more out of it as volunteers. It's funny. I always say, who remembers that little, let's say I saved a baby from choking, right?
Yeah.
Do I remember it, or the parents of the baby remember it? The parents remember that happened, but they don't remember us.
Right.
We will never forget that baby.
That baby's ingrained in your brain.
In our brain.
Yeah.
We get more satisfaction out of us. The payment for the work that we do it's immediate satisfaction.
It's contagious almost. Yeah. It's
Really,
contagious. It's a feeling. Well, I don't know. I have ADHD. I've got an inkling you might have that too.
I have that.
Yeah. We're speaking the same language. And you know what it's all about. We know so much about the brain now and where we're going, and, just endorphins and how we have to release, there's just so much that we are able to give and do. And those are what's more of a natural high, honestly, in life than saving a life. So I think that if more, not that every country is not going to be able to work and adapt the way Israel is doing this, but there are definitely models that I think that we could really be looking to right now when we're in this state of chaos. Everyone in Toronto is moving to Florida because they want to get away from this. It's pathetic. People are just moving, and I'm not, I understand why. But, I don't want, not that I wouldn't actually want to live in Florida. It seems like a great place. I might think about it myself down the road. But for right now, it's like you want to feel proud. You want to feel yourself, and you want to feel like you can live in this world and be able to give back. That's at least how I feel. And I think there needs to be more organizations like this model here and around the world that are showing people the value of what a life is, and to live into your full purpose in life without understanding how we value life is totally different, right? How can you live into your real purpose if you don't really value life? You'll just spend your life, kind of what I said before all this, and I kind of woke up, sleep living. You can be pulled in so many different directions, especially with our ADHD. You go from here to there, and you can spend a whole life doing a lot, but not a lot of great things. And since I've got in touch with you and Rachel and the whole organization, I just feel like even being here talking to you has made me feel like I'm doing better in the world because I'm part of something bigger than myself. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways for me is that right now we have to be thinking of others. We have to be thinking of others. We cannot just be thinking of ourselves. And it doesn't matter who they are, race, religion,
I always say
ethnicity.
thinking about each other.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's going back to the first thing I said. Caring about others like you want others to care about yourself. Yeah. And I think the society here, I don't want you to move to Florida because I need you here.
Okay.
So I come here, we can spend time together.
That's fair.
And I don't want to give up on Canada. Canada was always a friend of Israel. And unfortunately now we're going through hard times with the government here. And it's sad because the government of Israel and the government of Canada and the government of Australia and England are aligned in 99%
right.
of things. They don't understand What we're going through is something they will go through in a few years if they don't fix things.
Right.
They will go through an intifada.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen because this is what happened to Turkey. Turkey was a Christian nation before it turned into a radical Muslim nation.
Because they didn't protect themselves.
No, and we need to, yes, you want to accept everyone, you want to accept other nations, but people have to accept the fact that they're coming in to be part of a country, not to take over a country.
Right.
Now, what we're going through is literally just an attempt to try saving our lives. You know, Yom Kippur War was almost the destruction of Israel. Same thing now on October 7th. What they planned, Hamas, for many years, they were very, very smart. They weren't stupid. They have incredible PR coming in with the guidance of Qatar. They have incredible, fighting techniques, which they learned in Iran. They have a lot of other countries who are supporting them. And they build a narrative over years that they are the victims. These poor guys, they're all surrounded with Israel is not letting them go anywhere. They can't breathe. They don't say anything about Egypt. They don't say a word. Egypt is on their border. Egypt could open up the border and they'll have everything. What about all these years that Egypt didn't let any Palestinians from Gaza come into Egypt for years and years because Egypt doesn't want them. Egypt hates them more than any other nation.
Right.
The Jordanians don't want them, but they're blaming Israel. Why? Because it's easy. If you blame Israel, people will buy the narrative, buy the story, and they will broadcast it everywhere. And CNN will take the story. So they are building hatred towards Israel. They're not building hatred towards Egypt, who is doing worse to them.
Right.
Now, we are absorbing all these years. We're saying, okay, let's help them out. They came to even giving out money. We said, let's give them out money every month so they could have a living.
Right.
Oh, these poor guys doesn't have money.
Yeah.
And then every time they attacked us, Israel said, okay, let's do a ceasefire. America put pressure, do ceasefire. Okay, no problem, ceasefire.
Right.
That was all a tactic of eventually attacking us in a way, making us think that we're strong, that they want a ceasefire every time. Slowly, they built 450 miles of tunnels underneath of Gaza. Every home in Gaza, by the way, if you wanted a permit to build your home, you needed to pay extra to build tunnels to connect it to the Hamas tunnels. These are not tunnels for hiding in case of Israel attacking you. These are tunnels for Hamas to hide.
Right.
You stay in your home, get bombed. The only ones allowed in the tunnels are Hamas.
Right.
And the Islamic Jihad. The terrorists were allowed in the tunnels, 450 miles of tunnels. I don't think Canada has these miles of tunnels.
How right?
But this is what they did for 20 years or 25 years since Israel left Gaza because of the pressure of the world. You're conquering Gaza. And now we had 25 years without Israel there, or over 20 years without Israel there. Look what we find ourselves. And we want to protect ourselves for the future. And they're saying we're doing genocide. How can we possibly do genocide if 60,000 people died since the beginning, according to the Hamas numbers, which could be not even right? And they're for sure exaggerating because no one ever died from natural causes there for the last year and a half or two. It's 60,000 in their numbers, and 150,000 were born.
Right.
So how could you call it genocide if it's actually a deficit of genocide? Just go into UNICEF website, the UN website, see how many babies were born in Gaza in the last year. Every year, 60,000 people are born in Gaza.
Right.
I think more or less every 10 minutes, which God bless them. I hope to educate these new babies to love and not kill.
Right.
A little baby when he's 3 years old, you educate them, oh, when you grow up, you'll be a martyr and you kill Jews and you go up to heaven and get 72 virgins. That's what they teach them. Any schools here, I hope not, in Canada, teach their kids that if you kill a Jew or a non-believer, you get to heaven and you get 72 virgins. Is that something is the government of Canada know about this? When the Canadian government support or any government support schools in Gaza, do they ask them, what kind of education do you give the kids? Or they say, oh, kids need education. Yes, they need education, not that kind of education.
Right.
So that's what we're dealing with in Gaza. I really hope, and I see, eventually we're going to get our hostages back. But it's not going to come with a deal with them because they don't want a deal. The hostages by them is like asking Israel to give up the nuclear weapons. The hostages for them is a weapon.
Of course it is. They know what it means to us.
They know.
Of course. What is the one thing, like you said earlier, that we cherish more than anything is each other and loving, right? So when you take that away.
So what we need to do is continue the shining tikkun olam on the world. We're still saving lives. They had in Turkey an earthquake. Turkey doesn't like us. Turkey hates us. Erdogan, or whatever his name is he's not so far from the Ayatollah of Iran.
Right.
His ideas about Jews are the same exact ideas. And he's turning Turkey, that's part of NATO, into a dictatorship of hatred towards Israel and other nations. They're really in a bad situation, and people there are suffering a lot. And Erdogan is blaming Israel for everything, hating Israel, cutting ties with Israel. They don't even allow anything to be sold to Israel. Guess what? They had an earthquake. United Hatzalah volunteers with Israeli flags flew with an El Al flight into Turkey. For 1 week, we were saving lives. Lenore was there. We were saving lives in Turkey. Yes, we got threats to our lives. A lot of ISIS people who were there ran away from Syria. Heard Israelis were there. We had to get security. We had the Shin Bet with us. The Israeli army came to join us. Guess what? During a war, Israel army send a plane to help out. We are doing our job as good fellows.
Look at like some of these stats. Like, let's see. I want to just pull up. Okay, so over 8,000 volunteers, right? United Hatzalah, there's about 2,000 daily phone calls that are coming in. For whatever it means, 2,000 that need help. Response calls. Under 3 minutes response time and under 90 seconds in metropolitan areas, right? Which is insane. So any type of accident, within 90 seconds, someone is there. And this was another crazy stat that we found, that reducing cardiac arrest deaths in Israel by 50% since inception. That's huge. Those numbers aren't being turned by hospitals, I'm sure. I mean, to some degree, but that's insane from just being mobile, being there when you need to be there. So there's a lot of stressors that come with this. It seems like these stats, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you're training, you're making high-level decisions. Are we sending people in on October 8th? Are we not? Like, I can't imagine. What do you do just on a personal level, though, to not feel stressed, to feel like you can go out and do what you do every day, fly all around the world and be who you are right now? What are you doing to take care of yourself? Like, do you meditate? Do you sing in the morning in the shower? Like, what is Ellie doing to be this awesome energy that goes and is happy and showing the world, honestly, what the real Israeli spirit's about? That's what I feel. Like, how? What do you do?
I don't personally do anything. Unfortunately, I wish I did, but I meet the greatest people in the world. I really do. I meet people like you. That gives me the strength. Honestly, if I didn't meet good people, and I walk away from bad people, and I've been in situations, I met bad people, I walked away.
How do you know they're a bad person, Ellie?
Just looking at their eyes.
You can tell.
Some people are not just good people, and you want to stay. And I always tell my kids, stick to good people. Don't stick to success.
Yeah.
Stick to good people. Some bad people have success.
Of course.
Just walk away. Stick to good energy. I say karma.
Yes.
And I think that's what gives me the energy. If you ask me, I'd rather stick with people like you.
Yeah.
And people like you.
Yeah.
And get energy from you than go to some voodoo thing. I like
ironic with where this is all going, but yeah.
I
would take 5 of Rachel's. Like, literally, give me them.
Rachel.
All of them. She's like the
look at her. Look what she's going through personal. And like, she's unbelievable.
Everything about it. And what you do when you want to help others is what you can put yourself through is incredible.
Should I tell you something crazy?
Yeah, go.
I was in Montreal yesterday.
Yeah.
I met the most amazing people. Like, really incredible people. I was crying in the middle of my speech. I couldn't stop crying. I was talking about October 7th, about a story that will blow your mind. I'll give you the story in a second if you want. But I was there, and then one guy in the synagogue that I spoke, Rabbi Jacobson's synagogue, the Chevra, and he came specially. He's 95. He'll turn 96.
Okay.
He asked me, okay, Ellie, how long are you staying? I said, I have to leave tomorrow morning to Toronto. He said, how are you getting there? I said, I'm leaving early. I'm going to call an Uber. He said, no, I'm going to drive you. This guy's 95 years old. Marvin.
You're like, are you sure you want him driving you?
He is 95. Marvin, my good friend Marvin. Okay. And I said, Marvin, I'm leaving 6:30. He says, I'll be there 5. I said, don't be there 5. Do me a favor. And this guy's like driving a Cadillac. And I said, please, Marvin, if you come come 6:30. Don't come earlier. He
Yeah.
said, no, I'll be there 5. Guess what? He was there 5 this morning, waiting for me in the lobby. At 5:15, he called me in the room. Thank God, because I forgot to put my alarm clock on. And I was there in 15 minutes, and we drove to the airport. He took me, and I said, Marvin, you have a GPS? He says, I live here 95 years.
I need a GPS.
I never had a 95-year-old guy drive me. This guy is more
With it?
intact than anyone I know.
Wow.
And he's so unbelievable. And then he gives me a bunch of documents that he wants me to, he has this research and that research to help Hatzalah, to help that. And he's an incredible guy. So this is what I go through. You asked me where I'm getting my energy from.
That's cool.
From these people. From you, from Marvin. Marvin didn't even have a phone on him. I said, why don't you have a phone? He says, I don't need a phone. I know my ways. I know everything. This is amazing.
Right.
Like,
just taking the time out of your life. Yeah.
You couldn't give me a better day to start my day.
Right.
I started with Marvin and now with you.
But that's also your perspective. You could say to someone like a Marvin, okay, thanks, Marv. I'm going to take an Uber. Smell you later. You could have said that.
Right.
I mean, I would have said that.
But I made him happy.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So that is something that you're choosing to do. You're looking and you're regardless of people that you need to turn away from, you're not closed off. And that's a huge thing. I think that it's easy
I
to
made him happy and he made me happier.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I really enjoyed that ride. I'll never forget it. I never had an Uber driver. He's not an Uber driver.
Right.
He's a supporter of United Hatzalah. But a guy 95 years old, my mother's 96. She's not driving for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking, thank God he's alive, he's well, and he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's perspective. It's perspective.
Yeah, and I get the energy from these people. I meet people around the world. I had a 6-year-old girl a week ago in front of her 94-year-old grandfather. Her grandfather is a person from Mexico, Alberto Saba, who's a huge donor of ours.
Yeah.
His great-granddaughter, her name is Miriam. She comes over to me with a little bag that she collected tzedakah, and she said she wants to join the Light Legacy Heroes, which is a program we have for children to be supporters. Light Legacy Heroes.
That's incredible.
And she had $106 in there. She collected. She's 6 years old, and she gave it to me. And I told her grandfather, I'm sorry to tell you, and he gave us millions of dollars. His name is on our building. And I said, Alberto, your granddaughter is a bigger donor than you. She is.
Totally. Like
she gave a much bigger percentage.
Whatever she's able to do at that age and turn that profit. Yeah.
$106.
Like, let's go.
I asked her, how much more do you have? She said, I gave you everything.
So there you go.
I said, Alberto, what about you?
Exactly. Exactly. Mr. Sales always working. It's amazing. But and the generational, like there's so many lack of opportunity to do that here in Toronto too. So it's just teaching these young kids what it's all about. That's when they learn. They look up to people. They see your kids. All your kids are volunteers. They see you doing it. How can they not want to do that, right? So it's leading by example in a lot of these situations to be, I guess what we're calling them is you're creating model citizens. So
I'll tell you, I was once on the way to Tiberias from Jerusalem, and my whole family was in the car. And they had, on the way, a car accident that we were the closest. So I'm with my whole family. My kids own the car, little kids. And I had to stop to treat. Guess what? My wife and I were the medics. My wife's more professional than I am because she's not ADD like I am. And she went through paramedic school and I went through EMT school. Unfortunately, we were doing CPR on a young man who was hit. His little daughter was in the car. His other kids were in another car. And we were doing CPR and his daughter, we were trying to save her daughter his daughter was in critical condition and almost an amputation of a leg. And she was in a critical condition. The father was in a critical condition. My kids were looking at this the whole time.
Young kids.
My kids, because they stopped right next to it. And we were working. It was hot. It was in a tunnel in the highway.
Holy.
And guess what? We saved the daughter. We couldn't save the father. Father died. I knew the father. He used to be a volunteer of ours years before. Chaim. And he died. And my kids were so impacted from this. And guess what? All my kids are volunteers now. All my children. My son just served in the Army in the IDF. 4 years. He just graduated his 4-year service.
Wow.
My son is an EMT and a fighter in the Special Forces.
Wow.
My son actually told me, and he showed me a video. I actually have a video. No one ever saw this. That terrorists were shooting towards his team in another building from a building that citizens were there. That means the terrorists wanted them to shoot back on the building.
Right.
Citizens were in a building. They go in the terrorists and they shoot towards the soldiers, expecting the soldiers to shoot back and, of
Right.
course, kill innocent people.
Yeah.
And my son said we were very exact. We shot the terrorists. We killed the terrorists. I have the video of the whole thing. My son had a GoPro. And guess what? A family that lived in the building were injured, and they came to the soldiers. You see the family coming with a little boy, probably 5, 6 years old, and he was injured, and my son was treating this little Palestinian boy. And I asked my son, I saw the video, and I saw the picture of him treating, which I'll give you to put it on.
Yeah.
And my son, I said to my son, you were treating a Palestinian boy. He's not Jewish. Why? I was interested to know, why are you treating him? He said, I'm treating him, Daddy, not because he's Jewish. I'm treating him because I'm Jewish. He says, Abba, if you would know how many Palestinian kids we treated as the special forces of the Israeli army. We once took a kid, by mistake, was injured. We saved his life, and we took him on a helicopter to an Israeli hospital because we knew he needs special help there. This is what we are. This is who we are. We don't care what Al Jazeera says and these other Nazi networks say.
Yeah.
We do what we know what to do, saving people, helping people, and tikkun olam.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's been such a privilege, truthfully, for me to get to know you, to get to know Rachel, to get to know the organization and the team. It's not only inspired me in my day-to-day life here, but it's given me entrepreneurial ideas. Today we've got somewhere. It's given me just what you said, that strength, connecting with good people, with people that at the end of the day, when you put your kepi down on that pillow, that is the right decision. That's something inside of you, that intuition that we're all born with is in line with doing the right thing. And I don't know, I hope anyone that's listening to this and understands the real narrative and the stories that are going on, just to take a second and to listen. That's kind of, everyone thinks for themselves. That's the beauty of this. Think for yourself, but just pause, look at both sides, be open-minded, and just be nice to people. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. And it's becoming harder these days, given the barometers and just kind of life that we're living in. But it's true. I want to wake up happy like you every day. I want to wake up living with people around me that are doing good and providing safe, healthy spaces for other people to do the same. And I've taken a lot of what you said to heart, and I'm really encouraged, actually, about a little bit about our future. I came into this a little bit negative about Toronto, but I think that there's things that we can do and really look at your models if people really stand up to this and just integrate it in our own way. It's never going to be the same, but there's a lot of cool things that we can adapt from you guys and help out a little bit more. So I just guess what I'm saying is thanks, Ali, for coming on. Thanks for sharing your stories. It's wonderful to see you as always. And I really hope everyone enjoyed this conversation.
It was great. It was so good. I hope you pressed the recording. It was amazing.
I think we're on it. If not, Ryan, you're fired.
It was amazing. It was really great.
And good luck, and good luck with the rest of.
It's great to open my visit in Toronto.
That's amazing, and I'm going to be back in October, so we'll do something up again.
Yeah.
And good luck with the rest of your stuff in Toronto.
I should take you on an Ambucycle in Jerusalem.
That would be fun. I've always told you my content ideas around that.
Yeah, we should do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, thanks.
Perfect. Thank you.